Welcome back to our channel. I am Amadi, and here with me is my partner,
The Grin.
This is a place where we don't shy away from gruesome details where some things may be triggering and hard to hear. So get yourself in the right frame of mind and let's talk about dark shit.
Let's do it.
So before I start, I just have to point out, we are at our 1 year mark. We've already passed it by a couple of weeks. So yay for us.
Hooray.
Finally.
We did it. We reached a year old.
Yes. And have we been recording every week and posting things out? No. Things got in the way.
To be fair, we did it up to like the 8-month mark.
Is it the 8th month? And then
that's when we
I
started
got
struggling.
Sick and then moving and all that fun stuff. It was 8 months? That's not bad.
So yeah, life slapped us in the face at 8 months. But I mean, here we are.
Yeah, that's true. And we're going to try to revive ourselves. And hopefully we can get back into, a rhythm and post and put out every week.
Agreed.
That sounded wrong. But anyways, let's start. I don't know if you guys remember the last time I put out my episode, it was based in Baltimore, Maryland. So I decided to just keep going with Baltimore. And we are talking about Alexander Kinyua, born October 23rd, 1990 in Nairobi, Kenya. Alexander and his family moved to the States, specifically Maryland, Baltimore. And I couldn't find much about him when he was growing up, other than his father being a lecturer at the Morgan State University, where when he got older, he became a student. Alex was attending Morgan State as an electrical engineer student. He had good grades, his point average was great, and on par with becoming a senior in the fall, according to a spokesman to the university. From CNN, he was also one of the 175 people that were showcased in an August 2011 symposium that was ran by the prestigious Los Alamos National Laboratory. His study was focused on the cost-effectiveness and productivity of comfort control systems regulating heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Friend William Barnes, a senior electrical and computer and engineering student, says that he was a motivated type. He seemed happy-go-lucky and at times very inquisitive, said the upperclassman who became acquainted with Kenya, not only through shared courses, but through the MSU ROTC program. So, I don't know. So far, this guy just sounds like a very motivated, smart kid.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, right? He said that they were in the same ROTC program, and for a while, he seemed to have a good head on his shoulders up until 2011, December 2011, where he seemed to be searching. He even got angry once and punched holes in the wall in the ROTC computer lab, which caused him to get kicked out of the program. And according to police documents, some Facebook searches around October, November of 2011, Alex, despite being smart and pretty much normal, he started posting on Facebook and doing little vlogs, talking about human sacrifices and talks about asteroids, meteors hitting Earth to restart it. And a post about Terminator and the Matrix, the movies, how they have symbolic and hidden messages that come directly from the scriptures of Yah. And another thing I noticed was that he would end some of his posts with the name Hotep. And looking it up, Hotep is used as a greeting by adherents of Afrocentrism, which I had no clue what that meant. And it means it's often looked to ancient Egypt and the source of African culture. He even posted around 66 pages of Exploring the Gods, a manual filled with teachings about the many levels of cosmic beings and parallel universes. He went as far as changing his name to Mufasa and started carrying around a skeletal hand. And it wasn't from an actual human, that they say, but it was a medical skeletal hand, as they called it. And according to one of his roommates, he started reading what the roommate called chanting books, or books that could possibly be related to the occult.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said he was reading scriptures from an individual, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that like some kind of higher being that he was worshiping, or
If I remember correctly, it was part of this Afrocentrism that was also related back to the Egyptian days.
like a god?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A few days, well, technically 2 days before he got arrested, he did some writing on Facebook, and he says, this is his words, "Hear me out, butchers. Are you strong enough to endure ritual HBCU, mass human sacrifices around the country, and still be able to function as human beings? It's been all too tragic with the dual university shootings at Virginia Tech and other past university killings across the country. Now for a twist. Ethnic cleansing is the policy, strategy, and tactics that will affect you directly or indirectly in the coming months. This is the brutal basis and evil and terrifying method of the death cults." Ooh, I wouldn't even know what to think if somebody posted that on Facebook who was like normal, posting, normal stuff, and then all of a sudden that, like,
Maybe they were just playing a prank, is what I would think.
if you saw somebody that you knew posting something like that, you think it's a prank?
If I saw you post something like that, I would just be like, oh, she's like really into this, like, kind of like, I don't know, weird. I don't want to say weird. Kind of like this theology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it
Like-
was me and you thought it was me, you better immediately assume that I got hacked. I wouldn't even post anything like that. I don't even post.
Well, I could see you like looking into stuff like that. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I would look into it, but I wouldn't say shit.
I would be like, oh my gosh, maybe she accidentally posted something she was looking up.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Instead of hit save, she pressed post.
I was doing an angry rant, and I was like, maybe if I write it all out, I'll be fine afterwards. Should I present? Also, around that same time, on May 19th of 2012, his mother actually posted on Facebook saying that her son, Alexander Kamanthi Kinyua, was arrested on Saturday, May 19th, for being involved in a fight in his dormitory room at Morgan State University. The charge against him is first-degree assault and excessive endangerment of life. He had a bail set for $220,000, which his parents were able to bail him out and have him come home.
Wait, so is it after he started looking into stuff like that that his mood started changing?
So his mood started changing, or he started changing November of 2011, October, November. And this is May 19th, 2012.
Oh.
So there was an interview with the victim of the attack. His name was Joshua Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
And what he says what happened is that he went to the dorm room to go pick up a friend of his. And when he got there, it was dark. When he went inside, somebody told him to lift up his hands. He did. He covered. He did the whole kind of covering his eyes, when the sun is hitting you.
Yeah.
So he did that. And he could also see a dark figure wearing a hoodie. And he doesn't recall much of what happened afterwards, but thank goodness, he had roommates. And there was friends there who overheard everything and saw somewhat of what happened. Caesar, when he came to, he was in the bathroom, and his friend kept telling him to stay in the bathroom, stay in there until they come and get him. He had no clue what was happening. All he knows is that he saw blood. And it turns out that the blood was his own blood. Alexander actually attacked him with a bat covered in barbed wire. And when his friend came to the bathroom to tell him to stay in there, that's because that friend or roommate was actually outside with somebody else trying to fight off Alexander for coming to get him and trying to beat him up a second time. Those friends of his, honestly, he probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. He got beaten up very badly to the point where he is now blind in one eye.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know. The eye thing always gets me.
And when asked if they had issues, the both of them, if they had issues in the past or anything about that, according to Alexander's roommate, the roommate says no, they were cordial with each other. So they actually kind of knew each other. They would talk here and there, and there was never any anger. So he doesn't even know if this was just in Alexander's head or what exactly happened. But can you imagine? That's a barbed wire bat.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oof, blind in one eye, because I was picturing it. Oof.
Yes,
Jeez.
He also said that when he was coming to, he heard somebody screaming or yelling, like yelling in pain.
Yeah.
And later it turned out it was actually, he was subconsciously hearing himself screaming in pain. That is scary.
That is.
That's that's scary to think about. Like, you wake up hearing somebody screaming.
But in fact, you're the one who's screaming.
Yes, that's creepy.
Wow.
Yeah. So while he was out on bail for beating up, or is it worse? Beating up is not
Assaulting.
assaulting. There you go. When he was out on bail for assaulting Joshua Caesar, another person went missing. His name was Cujo Bonsafo Agui Cody, and he was reported missing on May 25th, 2012, by his father. From the very little out there that we know, Cujo had earned multiple master's degrees from schools in Ghana and was also a graduate student of Morgan State University, which is how he knew the Kinyua family. He was actually staying with Alexander Kinyua's family for the past 6 months. He was staying with the family because there was some pending deportation happening with Cujo for violating his visa. A few months back, or a couple of years, I think it was a few months back, Cujo started harassing and stalking a girl that went to the same Morgan State University 5 years prior. Okay, 5 years, there you go. And immigrations and customs enforcements, ICE, got involved, but let him go for the time being under supervision. And how he did this was a little bit disturbing. He was stalking, which is already scary, but he was able to obtain her social security number and telephone number and kind of started threatening her that she needs to be with him or date him.
What? How did he get that information?
I don't know. It didn't say, but that's kind of creepy. Like, stalking. Yeah, okay, that's creepy. How do you get somebody's social?
That's insane. Unless he worked at a place where you can access that.
That would make sense. But it didn't say anything about his job or if he was working.
Okay.
Pending deportation. I don't know if you're allowed to work.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know.
I don't know either. He did receive 18 months in prison for 4th-degree sex offense, stalking, harassment, and obviously expelled from the university.
Yes.
After he was released from prison, that's when he went to stay with the Kinyua family. But during his time staying with the Kinyua family, he became really close to the siblings and the son, Alexander Kinyua, who was 22 years old. It was said by a local priest or pastor that they were so close they were almost like brothers. But on May 25th, 2012, after Cujo went out for a morning jog around 5:30, he didn't return home by that evening, so he was reported missing. 4 days after Cujo went missing, Alexander's brother Jared had gone down to the basement to retrieve some of his laundry, but couldn't because there were some heavy blankets on top. Jared ended up calling the police because in the basement he found what looked like body parts in 2 of the food baking trays that were covered by the blankets. What Jared describes in those baking pans, it looks like there was 2 hands and a head. Jared remembered thinking that he didn't recognize, or he tried to see if he can recognize the face on the head, but he couldn't.
What I would think is oh, somebody's playing a prank on me. It's fake.
That would actually make sense, yes. Yeah, okay. Or maybe to even see if it is, to see if it is is that real skin? Is that fake? It has to be fake.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I get it. After Jared found this, he went to Alexander to come downstairs with him because he found something. And Alex kept just brushing him off, saying, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's probably some dead animal from, the back." When Jared told his father about it, by the time they both go downstairs to the basement, Alex was already cleaning the pans and saying it was nothing.
What?
So during the interrogation with Alex, his behavior was what I would call very calm, answering everything in a very calm demeanor and tried to make it seem that him and Cujo were hardly close at all. Just someone who lived in the basement. He did say he knew about the story about the girl who tried to get him deported, but that was all he actually knew about him. When asked about a massive amount of blood that was found on his bed, guess what he said?
Yes.
He said, just yes. He said it was period blood from a girl that he was seeing, but she doesn't stay there anymore. Like, it was a big amount of blood. And he was like, it was menstruation blood.
What? Ew.
So gross.
So you didn't bother to clean
I know, right?
your
Disgusting.
bed?
I know, disgusting. They did find other blood splatters, and, well, he said that was from a fox that was still in a bucket from the backyard. Alex eventually confessed, and according to charging documents, Alex told police that he allegedly killed Cujo by catching him in his sleep with an axe, then cutting him up with a knife. Once he was dead, he ingested parts of the dead man's heart and brain.
What? Why?
There was no actual reason why. There was no reason. Yeah. Alex also ended up telling investigators that there is a dumpster outside of the town Baptist church on Trumbull Road, another church, another body, where they found more remains wrapped up. One of the detectives described that once they found the bag with his remains inside and they tried to pick it up, the body just slid out. In August 2012, after a psychiatric evaluation, Alex was deemed incompetent to stand trial and was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. That was why. He pled guilty, but not criminally responsible for Cujo's murder and the attack on the fellow student. During the plea hearing in 2012, December, the judge believed that Alex was dealing with mental issues, obviously.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that was just my little story about Cujo Cody.
What?
Yeah. Well, that's
crazy.
sad how that just pretty much hit him within months. Like,
Yeah, because it's like he
schizophrenic.
just snapped.
Yeah.
It
Like, how do
just-
you become that knowledgeable? He sounded so smart and passionate, a driving student, to human sacrifice, and we need a cultural cleansing, and I'm going to eat somebody.
I'm going to ingest somebody's heart. That's crazy. I'm a little bit shocked about the whole ingesting thing. But, I mean, if it's schizophrenia, if that's what they
Maybe
concluded.
because it's a mental illness. Maybe to him it was more of a, if I ingest your power source, your brain and heart, I will become powerful. That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay, I can understand that. But that's crazy still.
Yeah.
Wow.
Another Maryland Baltimore case, another supposedly eating people case. Well, this one they said he did. Joe Metheny. I don't think he did.
So watch what you eat when you go to Maryland.
It sounds like a nice place to me. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Be well.
Be safe.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.